Hello, everyone. I wanted to briefly cover something really quickly here. Um, a lot of people are trying to start out learning some PLC programming. It's something that I've done for years, part of my career. But it's fairly expensive to get into if you're just by yourself. And one of the ways to do that is to get a simple PLC and some hopefully free software. Of course, Rockwell PLCs are a big part of the industry. A lot of people are using those. And of course, the Studio 5000 software can be fairly expensive. There is a you can't if you do have a cheap MicroLogix PLC, and I'll admit this software is different. It's this PLC is not the same as a ControlLogix or CompactLogix type. But if you're just getting started and you're wanting to learn some of the basics of ladder programming, it's not a bad way to go. Years ago, I think I bought an old MicroLogix 1000 PLC for about 50 bucks on eBay. I'm not sure exactly what they're going for now. You might still be able to find one fairly cheap. Problem is, a lot of people are using RSLogix 500 to program those, which is a great piece of software. It works for the SLIC 500 series, which is another older processor, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pay a lot of money for RSLogix 500 when you're just playing around. You got a little MicroLogix 1000. And so there is a software called RSLogix Micro Starter Lite, which is actually free. The issue is it's very difficult to try to find it. I tried to just do some searches on Rockwell Automation's website, and frankly, over the years, I've never found Rockwell's website to be all that intuitive. Things keep moving around, looking for support pages. Never quite understood a lot of that, but anyhow, I did find this help article here, which I did have to log into. You do need to have like a My Rockwell Automation account set up, which probably for the very basic part of it, it should be easy to do. But this has instructions here. It's the ID number just for purposes here. It's IN9504, and the access level for this information is everyone. So, say as long as you have a login set up with Rockwell, you should be able to see this info and get this. But it's got instructions for the download, and I will say this is not easy. I think Rockwell's basically trying to hide this so that the average person can't find this very easily. But this is free software that you can use. Now, the thing is, it's only good for a MicroLogix 1000 or 1100 controller. And yeah, a lot of people are asking, where can I find it? If you have a MicroLogix 1200, 1400, so on, you are going to need to have RSLogix 500, unfortunately. But if you have one of these cheaper ones, you can do it. Now, what they say here, it's a free download. You need to go to the Product Compatibility and Download Center, which they do give you a link. But it gets to be a little tricky here because we'll do this together, and hopefully I can get through it. But you need to go there and at the top of the screen, search for MicroLogix 1100, and then you have to select firmware 10, which seems very not intuitive at all. You think you would search for the newest firmware, or why am I even looking for firmware at all? I want programming software. I'm not looking for a firmware download. I know that makes no sense. But then from the selection, you choose Files option, the request and unlock for the retired product. And then you have to request that. I guess they consider it retired. It's not being developed anymore. And the highest available version of it is 8.3, which, if you got an old, if there's a need for any higher revision, then you got to go towards RSLogix Micro, which I guess there's a version 11 apparently of that. There is a micro software, and I'm not sure exactly what that costs. You would need to check with a Rockwell distributor. But I kind of wish they had stuck and kept the light version. But frankly, the 1000 and 1100 are fairly old processors. But once we get in here and we select that firmware version, we got to come down and click this Micro Starter Lite, and then apparently without RSLinx. And I believe there is a free version of that too that we can get. And then you can additionally select the RSLogix Emulate 500, which actually is really nice because that should allow you to do some emulation actually without the need to have the MicroLogix 1000 or 1100. So it kind of gives you an environment to maybe do some testing of code. So pretty cool to be able to do that. At least it gets you in the world of Rockwell. Maybe not these nice Studio 5000 and the higher level processors, but at least kind of get you in. So we're going to go ahead and work through this. I'm going to get this software up. We'll try to go through and see if we can download it together. All right, so here we are. I'm going to type in MicroLogix 1100 for the search, and we click that, the 1763LXXX. And then they're saying we need to go down here and select firmware version 10. All right, I did that. So now what? Let's go back to the instructions again and look at it together. Top of the screen, we did that. We selected our firmware. From selection, choose select files option. Okay, select files option. This one? Select files option. Okay, we're going to keep struggling here. Like I said, their instructions are pretty weak. All right, we're going to select the version again. And it says the select files option, which frankly, I don't see that. So downloads. There's a select files option here. And then you got to request an unlock. And I just said, my system is old. All right, now what does that do? To me, that seems like that would be firmware. Okay, there we go. That was not really clear at all. This is part of what I say. Their website is wonky. All right, so I want to select the emulate because I would like to get that. Um, what else can I get out of here? Starter Lite without RSLinx. I want the English. I'm not sure what ZHE is, but I'm pretty sure the EN, I think that's referring to the English language version. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest with you, but 8.3. So RSLogix Micro Starter Lite without RSLinx. Either that or it means enterprise. I'm not sure. We don't really need firmware. We could get RS Classic Lite, which I believe that's free too. I'm going to go ahead and click it. So we'll have all of those because I think you do want to have that. Usually you do need to have RSLinx to be able to connect things, sometimes to be able to connect the emulator. So we're going to go ahead and go with that. And now, I think we got to click on this. We have 3 downloads selected, and we can say download now. Now, this is a thing. They have their own little downloader thing that it puts it in some weird place. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. It's going to download this little executable thing, which I usually ignore. I just prefer to go right to a direct download and just directly download these things myself, which they'll go into my downloads folder. You can see there's the emulate. Here goes the Micro Lite. And there goes RSLinx Lite. So we'll move on from there and try to get some of these things installed, play around with them a little bit, and see what we can do. All right, we're going to go through here the install. Welcome back. And want to go through the install of some of the software I downloaded. In the previous video here, I downloaded the RSLogix Micro Starter Lite, which is free, and I downloaded the RS Emulate 500 and also the RSLinx Lite. I'd like to go through and see how this installs. So it should be fairly easy. Okay, it wants to do an extract. All right, so it's going to create a folder. It looks like. So double click this setup. We'll run through that. I'm running Windows 11. Should be fairly similar for everybody else. We're just going to go through the install here, and then we'll start playing around with it more. Okay, install Shield Wizard, RSLogix Micro. We're going to accept it. Okay, so we're going to enter in a username. How about me and myself for the organization? All right, no need. It might default to an email address, so on. It doesn't really matter what you pick here. We're going to do the complete. See what happens. Hopefully this all works well. All right, looks like that installed. So we've got that installed. I'm not sure what this, okay, not sure what that was crying about. So I'm going to try to launch it, and we'll be right back. All right, so we see here, we've got a thing here. It looks like this is everything that's been installed. All right, this is the new stuff that's been installed. I have some previous installs here, but the one we're looking for is RSLogix Micro English. So the EN that I referred to in the last video must have been the English. So yeah, we can see here that we've got the ability to create new programs. And as I mentioned before, this software is only good for the 1000 and the 1100 series of processors. If you're using a 1200 or a 1400 and so on, and you need to go with the um, micro. It's not the micro starter, but there is an RSLogix Micro software that you do have to pay for that will work with those. Or you can go to the RSLogix 500. The only reason I would say to go to that RSLogix 500 would be if you've got existing some older SLC 500 series processors, then that software will work with either those or the MicroLogix. That's part of Rockwell's confusion. They've got so many different things that only work with a certain subset of products. So anyhow, this software seems to be installed okay. So we will start something up. We'll start a small project and see what we get. Hello there. I want to now install the RS Emulate 500. Let's see what we get here. I'm hoping that I can use this to actually emulate some of the MicroLogix 1000 or 1100 series. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and install this one because this is a free install. I have to give it a minute. Oh, okay, it zipped it here. What do we got here? We have a setup.exe file. So, okay, it extracted it into this folder. We're going to do an install. Again, I'm running Windows 11. All right, you're going to need to enter a username, an organization. Again, just going to enter in something to satisfy that. And we'll do the complete install. And that's that for the RS Emulate. All right, one little update I want to make here is I do recommend probably installing the RSLinx that I downloaded first. I just want to show you what happened. I installed the um, emulate first. Let me find that again. And I got a little bit of an error here. Yeah, failed to update the system registry. Please check registry security rights or blah, blah, blah. Use regedit. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. You don't want to mess around in the registry editor. And the real message here is the RSLinx Classic path was not found in the init file. There's a icom.ini file. So RSLinx must be installed in order to run the RSLogix Emulate. So I was correct in the first video where I wanted to download the Micro Lite Starter software, the programming software for the MicroLogix. I also downloaded the Emulate, but I also did need to download the RSLinx Classic Lite. That is free. That's not a paid version. But you do want to install the Classic Lite first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to try it again. All right, in this video, I want to install the RSLinx Lite. All right, which is going to should create a folder here. This is what we downloaded back in the first video, where I showed how to go get the software from Rockwell. If you don't know how to do that, you want to go back. You want to go back and download that video. Okay, so RSLinx Lite. This is needed for the emulator. If we get to the emulator portion, all right, so required steps. Ooh my. Internet Explorer 6. I don't know. Internet, this shows you how old the software is. All right. View activation instructions. There really shouldn't be any, right? We're just going to jump to that. All right, we got to enter a username and an organization. And again, I'm just going to put whatever in here. Oh, I can't even spell myself. Okay. Probably just go with whatever the defaults are. I don't really... just go ahead and just do that install. I'm not going to change anything. Again, I think we can skip the Explorer part of it. Don't really care about release notes. There shouldn't be any activation. Might not have installed correctly. You can try installing the program using compatibility settings. So, yeah, probably. Since this is Windows 11, we're going to see how we end up with this. I'm running Windows 11, and this is fairly old. So we're going to see what happens. And we'll be back when this is done. Looks like this might take a while. Okay, so we ended up here after a few minutes here. It did say user aborted. I'm guessing I had an issue because it failed to be extracted. We're running. Oh my, we're getting all kinds of stuff here. All right, so let me try finishing that. It does not seem like that really worked. But we'll give it a try. I'm gonna see if I can launch it. It seems like it might not have worked, but we'll come back and try it together. All right, I do have the icon in here, RSLinx Classic under Rockwell. And actually, oh wow, okay, it looks like it's actually running. So we're gonna see how good this works. I'm gonna go back and try to run the emulate, see if I can load up the emulator. This is a little bit of undiscovered territory for me. I'm used to this software. Yeah, there we go. Did not like that. Oh, actually, there it came up. It must have found it. Interesting. So yeah, so the emulate's going to look for a program file. So we're going to give it a try, at least now that I have the RSLinx Lite Classic Lite installed. The RSLogix Emulate 500 comes up, and it's been a long time since I've ever messed with this. Honestly, I've done most emulation on the Compact Logix, ControlLogix platforms, but you can see that what you need to do is open up a file, which I haven't created one yet. I plan on trying to do that, so we will get to that in a little while, probably in a future video. But at least wanted to get these three pieces of software installed, show you a little bit what's involved, and yeah, hopefully we got it right. I would say you can install the Micro Starter Lite first. I would recommend then installing the RSLinx Classic Lite second, either first or second, and then wait and do the emulate last. The emulate's not going to run unless you've already installed RSLinx. All right, guys, there we go.